Hello. How's it going? Happy Saturday, wherever you are. I've tried to stop saying good morning because I know it's not morning for where like half of you are. So, good day. I hope you're sewing today or just hanging out, relaxing, you know, crafting, reading a book, except when you're here with us. How are you guys? Let me know. Okay, so I have the setup a little bit different today. I'm hoping the sound is okay because we are going to hop over to my home machine and my serger today. And so I had to like rearrange everything the best I can without rearranging everything. So let me know if the sound is okay. Hello, Malin. Good evening. Hi, Christy. How's it going? You guys are all finished with your jeans. I'm so jealous. I'm so excited. Today's my day. Hello, Carol. Thank you. I'm gearing up to leave on Monday for my show, so I am packing up my car today. Hello, Ida. How's it going? Good evening to you, too. So, let's see. I only have my side seams, my inseams, and the waistband left of these. They're all like just dumped on my machine here. There's the inside. So you know why I put a fox on my butt, because you know we're gonna try it out, and I can just you know, replace the pocket if it really bugs me when I try it on, because I know the pockets can be kind of low on these pants. Uh-oh, you guys there? Oh my gosh, my whole computer just went black for a second. Hello, Nancy. Hi, Shan. That was so weird. I hope I didn't do something. Well, if I did, I'm not sure. Hello, KB. How's it going? Okay, so we are working on the Mountain View pull-on jeans sew along. There's probably going to be a total of, I think that this is the third sewing, but the fourth in the sew along. Hi, Lisa. And then there's this fifth video that predated all of it back in December, where we talked about like how to print your pattern, how to pick out your denim, stuff like that. And I'm trying to organize the videos on YouTube and keep up on it, because every time I upload a stream, I have to like take that video and put it in a good spot. You're still working on the pockets, Carol? Yeah, that's okay. Take your time, you know. And you can find, I think, links to almost all the videos in the comments or the description of this video. So, but there are still a lot of really great aspects of this jean that apply to others. It has a fake front fly, so you don't have the zipper fly aspect, but I do have a video on how to do a zipper fly, and it's in the how-to section, just in case. But these are really great for an entry-level pair of jeans. You don't have to deal with a zipper fly, but the zipper fly is not hard to sew. So, okay, so here are mine. I'm going to do the side seam, and then we're going to jump over to my serger and my home machine to finish up the waistband. So first I'm going to do my outseam, which is the side seam. I got my machine set up with blue thread. Let's hope all my adjustments, KB, good. What do you mean your name? Oh, did you not finish typing? It's Kelly? Oh, okay, great. I'll try to remember that. Sometimes I might forget, just remind me. You might even be able to change it, but you don't have to. But I've seen people do that. I don't know how you guys do that. I'm always scared to monkey around with any of that stuff because I have too many accounts on Google for different reasons, you know. I'm trying to pare it down, but it's tough. All right, so I'm sewing my seam. So I pre-serged all of my pattern pieces, and that's why they look like they don't line up. If I were just sewing this by myself, I would serge as I go rather than pre-serge. It would, okay, good. I will do my best, Kelly. I got Christy's down, and hers is a bunch of numbers and letters, so I'm doing pretty good with her. Oh, good. My outseam does match. So like I said, I have a totally different setup today. My cameras are in a different place. My microphone's in a different place. My lights are even in a different place. And that's so that when I swap over to the other machines, I think I can just rotate it over there. Yeah, Christy, I don't know. I have a few weird things going on with my YouTube, and I'm so scared that I'm going to do anything that affects this whole stream and the videos, and I don't want to lose the videos. So I just, you know, we'll leave it as is. But it's not on my main account, so it's kind of a problem. And that's because on my main account it said I had a YouTube channel. And I was like, no, I don't. But I did. It was just really, really, really old. So let's see here. Honestly, you know what? I actually should have done my inseam first. I should have done my inseam first. The lighting's good? Okay, good. I'm gonna, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right now because I need to do the inseam first because I want the top stitch. I wasn't thinking. I'm a little distracted because between setting up all the stuff and then I started pulling out everything I need to pack in my car and making hard decisions on what not to bring. I only raised the back rise. You bought a Notions case for me? Awesome. Oh, good, Kelly. I'm glad. Hopefully, hopefully it shipped yesterday. You saw a notification. I did get a couple orders last night, and I didn't manage to get them out because the post office doesn't really come by here today. They sometimes do, but they come at really weird hours. I only raised my back rise, Christy, but when I did it, I taped all my pieces together and did it like if this was the front and this was the back. Wait, this was the front and this was the back. I went like, so I taped all my pattern pieces together so there'd be a really nice gradual thing. Oh, good, Kelly. I'm glad. I'll be shipping as soon as I'm back. I'm really good about shipping orders. I don't like them to sit there. I know how I feel. Especially when you buy it from an independent person, you already kind of worry like, oh, are they going to follow through? And I always do. I kind of want to start from the center of my rise and then go down one leg and then go from the center and go to the other side just to make sure that my hand legs match and I'm not like torquing or anything. But I just walked it with my hands to see if the whole inseam's going to make it. And I stopped sewing my outseam right there because I just realized I need to top stitch the inseam with the contrast thread. And I'm not going to be able to get into my leg if I sew that first. So I'll probably have to take that out. But, you know, what is a live stream without pulling out my seam ripper in the first, 10 minutes, right? So I'm matching up my seam here. But really, you want to match up the seam, not the top stitching. Because I pushed my seam allowances one way on the front and one way on the back so that the bulk of it would be as little as possible. It's a little bit snug, huh? The holiday vibe. Exactly. I'm on my show 3, which means I'm eating like little bits of candy here and there, pre-show, treating myself. I have a huge sweet tooth. Oh, 2.5. Yeah, I added 1.5 on mine, Carol. Yeah, because it was okay. But I didn't like that there probably wasn't any room for movement, and it gapped a tiny bit because I think it was just too low, so it sat away from my spine. So I added 1.5. And it's interesting, when I cut my elastic for the waistband today, I actually looked at it against the waistband pieces to see if it was going to have to be stretched to fit. Which ideally I think that is what you really want, and it didn't need to be stretched to fit. So then I was a little nervous. I was like, well, I don't want these like sitting away from my body, So I trimmed a little bit off my elastic. But it's hard to tell like where the waistband is going to sit, and that's like. You don't really want to do your elastic piece based on your waist measurement because these don't sit at the natural waist. You want it to do it where it is going to sit. You want the elastic length to be based on where it's going to sit, right? Which is a little bit bigger than my natural waist. My pants are about to fall off there. I'm going to get rid of some of these threads here just because, they bug me. They won't be ever seen again, but I'm going to get rid of them right now. There we go. All right, so Do I just take this out now? I'm gonna take this outseam out. Of course, right? I'm gonna do it a little bit quick and dirty because it's nice and clean. I don't really recommend doing that, but because I have a nice clear shot, there's nothing in the way, I can kind of take a chance doing this. I sometimes will just pull a seam as well, but the stretch trim isn't very forgiving of something like that. Yeah, right, Melinda? I sometimes like a lower front rise as well. But I kind of also, I like it either like lower, like just below my belly button or way above it, you know? Because I have a pooch there. I don't want it escaping. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Sarah, by the way. Sorry I didn't introduce myself. I am a little out of my routine here, but I'm not very good about introducing myself. And if you want to chat with us, and we really want you to, you need to create a YouTube channel, which is just like having an account. You don't have to start posting videos or anything, and then that way you can chat. It's just kind of a security measure. Yeah, do you, Ida? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like when I was sewing elastic waistbands a lot, like a long time ago, I would always take off about 2 inches of elastic from my waist measurement. And then that way it worked pretty good, because when you put the elastic inside of a waistband, the elastic doesn't stay the measurement it was cut. It kind of stays a little bit stretched because of all the fabric surrounding it. And if it's a heavier weight fabric, even more so. Like that happened on those flannel pajama bottoms I made. I made those exactly the same as those lightweight cotton ones, and that was a mistake. I needed to make a slightly smaller elastic measurement because the flannel was so heavy. So there. Yeah, right, Melon? I know. I'm really short-waisted myself. That's my only complaint about these overalls sometimes. Because because I'm a little short-waisted, I feel like it's like doop, doop, right there, you know? Okay, let me switch my thread here and we'll top stitch the inseam. So I'm just using a top stitch thread and I'm leaving my bobbin the same. There's no way my machine would be able to handle a bobbin with this weight of thread. And I expect most home machines wouldn't be able to handle it either. My tension is not perfectly ideal when I use this thread, but I have been able to adjust it to where it looks pretty good top and bottom. Oh, nice, Margaret. Are you making ginger jeans, Margaret? Welcome. I really love those. I really want to make more. In fact, I have to admit, like, I pretty much only wear my handmade jeans, and I only have a couple pairs, so I'm wearing my handmade jeans like a couple times a week each, and then washing them and just kind of avoiding my others. Oh, nice, Kelly. You know, darts really intimidate a lot of people, so good job just jumping right in there. How did it go? I think one of my short how-tos has some tips on sewing darts, but I like to hand tie the end. That's kind of definitely a home sew technique. What did I do, Malin? I feel like I have 2 ginger jeans video, right, sets. So I have the first time I sewed ginger jeans and the second time. Yeah, it could be, Nancy. If it's really pulling in, it could be the elastic. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know, right, Margaret? I feel like I'm still working on the fit as well. Yeah, sewing a dart is pretty straightforward. You just want to get the tip, the pointy part. You want to start at the raw edge and go towards the tip, the top of the triangle. And make sure that, you know, when you go off the edge of the triangle, don't backstitch right there, because typically darts are shaping a bust, and you can create a little pucker, which might draw the eye along your bust to that pucker, and it's just not the most flattering thing. That's my tip, and that's why I hand tie them. All right, so I'm just looking for my front, and I'm gonna top stitch this. I'm gonna push the seam towards the front and top stitch it down. Yeah, Christy. So when here's some 2-inch elastic, that's really wide. You might want to not trim off 2 inches if the elastic is 2 inches wide. I find that really wider elastic is a little stiffer, and you might find it like you'd feel it more on you, and it might feel a little too much if it's really snug. I don't know how to explain that, but I find it more comfortable if the wider elastic is less tight on me and rather just sitting against my skin. Does that make sense? But all elastics are not the same. So I prefer the braided elastic. It's not ideal for all applications. I don't like that really thick ribbing kind. I don't like the knitted kind because that rolls. But I do like the braided, and there's another one I can't think of the name of. But let me think about that. All elastics are not created equal, obviously. The stretch on them can be a little different. Yeah, right, Margaret? You gotta have the right stretch. But yeah, Christy, I typically trim about 2 inches off the waist. It's been a while. My waist is a little fuller now. I might not want it as snug, but if it's a heavier weight fabric that you're putting that elastic casing in, I would definitely not trim off as much as 2 inches because it's not going to stretch as much. Okay, good, Christy. I'm glad. Yeah, right, Lisa? Mine is like a little over 3/8, so I'm cheating too. I swore I had 5/8, or I mean a 1/2 inch, and I didn't. Otherwise, I would have bought some. I'm going to go a little slower over this juncture because I don't really want any skip stitches. I shouldn't get any. I have a brand new needle. It's plenty heavy duty. But because the threads are different weights, it's probably best to be a little cautious. It's very kind of the machine to accommodate the fact that I have 2 different weight threads. That's the way I look at it. I can hear it. Like, I can hear it in my machine. I'm trying to keep the bulk of my pants up here on the table so it doesn't pull against my needle. That can be really dangerous. All right, now I'm ready for my outseam. What are you making, Christy? Are you just making some pull-on pants or shorts or a skirt or something? All right, I'm gonna take out my top stitch thread. That's the one thing about making jeans is there's a lot of machine swapping and rethreading going on. With my industrial, I can just tie it and pull it through, kind of like a serger. I wouldn't do that on my home machine. It's far too simple to thread. And I don't think the tension discs on my home machine really want a knot to pass through. Whereas the industrial and the serger doesn't really seem to mind. Other home machines may be fine with it. You just never know. Every machine's a little different. They all have their personalities, that's for sure. When I was in design school, I think I had 4 or 5 sewing machines, and each one did a different thing. And it's because I couldn't really afford to have one really nice machine that did it all. Or like the stitch on one, like the buttonhole stitch wouldn't work on one machine, so I would buy a cheap garage sale machine and, you know, use it just for buttonholes. That was my favorite thing to do, is to look at garage sales for old Kenmore sewing machines, and I would buy them for like $25 and just hold on to them until my next friend was like, I kind of want to learn how to sew, and I would give them that Kenmore because those things were just really great. You know, and that was That was 30 years ago. And so I don't know if I would go for a Kenmore now. My machine does have a name. It's Phoenix. Oh, you did, Ida? Okay, well, we'll go over that today. You had 3 machines going for this project? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, basically, I'm going to be using 3. I mean, anytime I use the buttonhole, I use my home machine. So just in case anyone doesn't know, I use just an industrial for most of my sewing. Probably 99% of it. 100% for work and 99% for the stream, because I do need the other machines for some home sewing techniques. But I don't always think that you need a serger. Most of the time I do French seams on here because a lot of people don't have sergers, and that's fine. Yeah, you had to re-clean it. It's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, actually, Kelly, my old machine, I think the last 2 machines, they were both named Artemis. Same with my mountain bikes, have always been named Artemis. But I decided this was a new era, and this one needed a new name, and it's Phoenix. Oh, I just looked at those, Christy. I can't remember what they look like, though. Oh, God, you guys are sewing all kinds of fun stuff, and I have no free time right now. I am basically sewing chicken boots. But yesterday, I am pleased to say, it was my last day of production sewing. I have told myself that after I return from the show, I am not production sewing anymore. I just had to finally draw a line. It was really hard to do that, but I had to give myself permission, because I actually have so much to do when I get back. If I start production sewing, it's going to push everything back weeks, and I can't do that. I need to move into a new office. I need to sell off some materials. You know, and I just want to work on this full time, and I want to get the stream back going as fast as possible. So there may be a delay, you guys. Like, I'm not going to be live next week. I'm not going to be live the next week after that. I'll try and pull something together before I move. But yeah, my names are so creative. I don't know, Nancy. I literally named everything Artemis for a really long time. It was a good name, and I really like Artemis. It's one of my favorite goddesses. She's the goddess of the hunt. I really like her. I've always wanted to run around in the woods holding a bow and arrow. That was Artemis. Big brother, little brother. Those are your names? Are they brother machines, like the brand? That's hilarious. These are some long seams, by the way. Yeah, having 2 is great. Yeah, I think when I move, I'm definitely bringing this machine behind me. It's just an older version of what I have now here. But it's set up with a binding attachment, as most people know, and sometimes I post little videos on the Chicken Boots Instagram of me using it as a binding machine, and people just love it. I do too. I love using the binding attachment so much. It's so much fun, but I really won't have a full-time use for a binding attachment, and so I'm thinking that I'll set it up just as a secondary machine with a different thread color on it, you know? Yeah, they're brother. Big brother, little brother, and weird brother. Okay, so which one's the weird brother, and why? Or do we want to know? All right, so I'm just going to top stitch this little section right here on the side. What is this? What is this? Oh, see, this is my thread. See, it didn't get trimmed. This is why I'm always trimming my threads. Pulled it through. I like to look it over. I don't really want to immortalize any of these threads, so I try and get rid of them now. Because let's face it, once these jeans are done, they're going to go into rotation, and I probably won't look at this area again once we get to the waistband. So I like to look at it right now. Oops, sorry. Yeah, exactly, Christy. All right, I'm going to change my thread one more time, and then we're going to put our waistband on. Oh, maybe I should have hemmed my pants. Actually, no, I'm going to try them on before I hem them. But I actually would use the orange, so there's that. Maybe I'll compare them. I actually have a pair of pull-on jeans here. I'll compare the inseams, and I'll just base the hem length on that. I'm confident like that. We'll see. Basically, I'm not confident like that. I'm confident I can fix a mistake. So that's why I just forge ahead sometimes. That's the difference, right? It's like, okay, I make a lot of mistakes, so now I know how to fix them. Just getting rid of all these little loose threads here. Those are my back stitches. I'm not a person that really needs the interior to look perfect. I just really like getting rid of some of those little things. Okay, so I'm going to top stitch my side seam. Claire. Oh, really? Your model's named Claire? That's so cute. I'm going to go to the bottom of the pocket bag of the front pocket. I'll just do it by feel. And I won't zigzag at the bottom. I'm just going to back stitch a lot. Yeah, Carol, you just trim the threads. That's all it is. They're not that great, you know. You know, it's always messier when I pre-serge. Right, Malin? I have to tell you, my serger has not ever been to the shop for a tune-up, and that is exactly why. Because 2 weeks it's just never 2 weeks for me. I haven't tried it here locally, and maybe I could work on it. But like, I really wish they would let you make an appointment, get yourself in line for 2 weeks, and then they tell you 24 hours and say, okay, your turn is next. Please come in tomorrow, bring your machine. Well, and you know, that way you don't have to be without your machine the whole time. So that's what I'm going to do in lieu of a zigzag. I don't really like using my home machine with this thread. My machine does not like it very much. I try and use it for buttonholes, and it was like kind of a nightmare. Oh, nice. Sherry has a name. Baby locks are, baby lock, mine's a baby lock, but I think they make straight stitch machines too, not just sergers, yeah. Yeah, mine has air threading too. The air threading is pretty cool. And mine stays threaded really well, maybe not in the needles area. But everywhere else, it stays threaded pretty well, so I don't actually have to worry about it too much. All right, now I went a little bit past my pocket bag here, so I'm going to line this up. I don't want them to be asymmetrical. It's about right here, so that my top stitching matches hip to hip, side to side. My back stitch is right there. That's why I'm touching with my finger right there. But I also have a large one here on my right hand side, and then I have an automatic one if I want, but I don't use that very much. I know, right, Mullen? I just really wish they would just make a booking time. Yeah, they really are fun. Don't be afraid of a serger. Just think of it as a machine with 4 spools of thread, you know, and you really don't have to touch it. You don't have to thread it over and over again. You just tie your new thread onto the old one and pull it through, and then rethread your needles. That's it. And mine has like little tools to assist even threading the needles because it's a little tight under there, and I never use them. I just got the hang of using it, threading it without. So yeah. All right, so we are to the point where I'm going to switch over to my machines in a second, but I'm going to sew the side seams of my waistband, and I'm going to sew my elastic into a continuous loop. Sewing elastic into a continuous loop is one of my specialties because I do it hundreds of times for our pattern holder elastic. Okay, I'm going to rethread this. I think I got all my top stitching, don't I? Oh, I should have done my hems. Darn it. You know what? I actually might have enough on there to do my hems. Let's see. Okay, here are my other pull-on jeans. Let's compare the inseam. Try not to whack the microphone over there. That's why I'm kind of like, well, Kelly, if you're just learning to sew, just stick with your regular machine for now, you know? And then when you start getting, like, figuring out what kinds of things you like to sew, maybe you'll decide you need a serger. But you might not ever even need one. Like, you might end up loving quilting and stuff. Okay, so these pants are going to be a little shorter. And that's actually okay. Those pants are on the longer side, so that'll be okay. Phew. I knew I cut it close with these hems. I'm going to even up this edge right here. And right here too. I want to be careful. I don't want to get like into a weird endless loop of trimming. Are these flared at the bottom? Well, yeah, serging does look neater than the zigzag, but some sewing machines actually have a kind of a fake looking serger stitch for finishing edges. So that's kind of cool. Or you can use a different one. They take longer. That is a drawback. They will take longer than a serger. A serger's pretty quick. I do like how quick sergers are. Mine's kind of slow. I mean, mine isn't kind of slow, but when we serge a lot here, it would be really nice if it went a little faster. It's not flared? Okay, great. Yeah, I actually have a funny story about that. Someone was asking, or someone, one of you made these with the corduroy with a nap and accidentally cut one of the back legs with the nap going the opposite way. And that reminded me, I have this really funny story, and I think I've told it to you guys before, a long time ago, like months ago, but it was when, when I was learning how to sew in high school, you had to do certain, like, you know, projects that like built on your skills, and one of mine was matching a pattern or sewing something with a nap. And I picked a plaid crop top, and I cut it out, and I thought I'd match the plaids and the side seams when I was cutting it out and everything. And when I went to hem it, you know, she's like, you can just trim along one of the plaid lines so that you have a nice straight edge, and then you can hem it up. And so I was trimming, I was chatting with my friends, trimming. And what happened was I had one whole repeat of plaid matched to the one below it. They were matched, but they were matched at an angle. And so I was cutting that in a spiral. I was like, this is taking forever. And then I realized what happened. Oh my God. So I hemmed it and faked it, and I don't know how she didn't notice, or maybe she was just like, oh my God, this kid, and she just let it go. I don't know. Yeah, Chrissy, don't worry about it. You're in good company. That crop, she was like, did you want this top to be this short? I was like, yeah. I owned it. Oh my gosh, I could barely wear that thing. It was yeah, pretty short. My mom was like, a little short. It was indeed very short. All right, I'm gonna hope I have enough thread on my machine because I already cut it. I have made some really funny mistakes. Ah, shoot. You know what? I'm actually going to serge the edge, and then I'm going to come back and do this. Because you know what? I need to top stitch from this side. And I want to roll hem. I either want to roll hem or I'm going to have to serge it. So, sorry, I'm not going to do that right now. I can't top stitch through the top with a roll without doing a little bit of monkeying around. I forgot about that. I don't have it's not on the bobbin, it's on the top. I could do a navy blue hem and just do it that way too, you know, not do the orange or yellow. What would you call this? You could do that. what would I think of that? Actually, that would be fine. Maybe I'll do that. But let me, I always try and stitch a little on my machine once I change the thread. Otherwise it leaves what I call thread bonnet. Alrighty. So I'm gonna hem these. I'm gonna do my start and stop on the inseam. And I always sew in a circle like this because my machine bed is flat with my table. You'll see on my home machine it's not, that I do have a free arm. I don't want my pants to fall off the table back there. It'll just start pulling. So because this is stretched in, I'm being really careful not to pull on this hem as I stitch it down. And when I get to my thick seams here, I'm going to lift my presser foot up and kind of walk it over as I sew. I'm not going to keep the presser foot up as I sew. I'm just lifting it to get to over those thicknesses. Because you know how sometimes your machine gets kind of hung up on there and then your machine's not moving forward, it's just stitching in place. My industrial's not going to do that. But my home machine would probably. And so that's why I choose to do it that way. I'm trying to decide which way I want my top stitching to go. Oh, that wasn't my inseam. That was the back leg seam where I started. That's funny. My inseam would have been the gold. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I just saw the top stitching. I do see a little bit of ruffling when I stitch down these really stretchy denims, but it does seem to calm down once it's been worn and washed. Just like Ellen Mason was saying, the gal who designed the from Audacier, who designed the Thea Rochelle raglan, at the end when she was like, okay, now wash it and make it yours. It's so true. Like, I find like once you wash the garment, it just kind of makes it look like it was always supposed to be like that, you know? Gold, right, Nancy? Yeah, that thread color is more like gold, not orange. I have orange, like a rust. Oh, good, Nancy. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, I'm glad we left it in too. We had the genius of the group suggest making it matching thread so it doesn't stick out. All right. I try and keep my seam lined up. So when I fold it, I try and fold it directly over where it's from, so that it doesn't get an angle and I don't get any torquing. Because it's a straight hem, that's not hard to do. It's harder to do on a hem with a curve. Definitely not going to see the seam line up with the seam on the, you know, on the when it's rolled up like this. Walking my presser foot over that. There we go. Now, if you have trouble doing your back tack over really thick seams like that, don't do it over the thick seam. Do it like right before it or right after it, and then make your start stop there. I do that a lot when I'm using cover stitch. When I do cover stitch, I like to start on the side because I feel like the back of your garment is, people see that and they see it on the front, right? So I hide it on the side seam, but I don't do it on the seam. I do it just behind it on the back side. Oh, cool. Meaning, is there sewing? Is that what you're asking, Christy? No, it's knitting, crochet, fiber, spinning, anything in the knitting world, you're going to see it there. But the teacher, the instruction there is top notch. It's really amazing. It's in Tacoma, Washington, called Madrona Fiber Arts. It's pretty amazing. I'm reading all your, you guys are writing a lot. I love it when you guys talk to each other. It's awesome. Silver thread on navy denim. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, there won't be any sewing related things at this show, if that is what you're asking. My needle gone there. All right, so let's do our side seams on. And all right, so I'm gonna sew my elastic into a loop. And what I find, because this elastic's being attached to the waistband, you don't really need to be as secure as I'm about to be, because I'm just doing this out of habit. I just do 2 lines parallel to each other. I back stitch and then I move it again. So I have 2 rows. Like that. When I do a pattern holder elastic, I do a box because it goes around it like this. Oh, really, Christy? That's cool. Do you have one in mind? That's pretty neat. That would be fun. There is, like, my local fabric store has a couple of sewing nights. I don't use the home machine very often, so schlepping it there is kind of a pain, but people are used to it and I should just stop whining. Okay, so make sure I do a front to a back and a front to a back, like not 2 fronts together. Now I don't need to do this seam on the serger. You could though. Okay, there's one. Nothing in mind. Oh, okay, cool. In the west, right, Christy? Can't remember. Are you in Arizona? Where are you at? Yeah, so I don't really know. I feel like I'm really out of the sewing loop. I've been kind of in the knitting world sewing for years, you know? So there's all kinds of new stuff to me. I mean, God, basically the internet wasn't even what it was when I started Chicken Boots. There was hardly any indie patterns, you know? And designing fabric has come a long way. In fact, I was friends with probably the gal who kind of popularized it, you know? So I was kind of, and then I was kind of into the knitting world. So, all right, so now I'm going to switch over everything to these machines. So you're gonna have to bear with me for a second and we will move it all over. Hopefully none of you get nauseous easy. Okay, let's see here. This table's definitely not as appealing to look at, is it? Let me get my mouse. All right. So the problem with this setup for me is, how's that look, you guys? I can't get the lighting as good as the other spot because I can't put it overhead. And can you hear me okay? How's that? Oh, really, Carol? Which one's that? Okay, so So hopefully when I have the new office, I'm going to be able to create a whole other space. And so what I was going to say is the challenging thing for me is that I have to have the machine all the way to the right of this table. And my knees want to be right here. So it's going to be a little awkward. So just bear with me. Does this all look okay, you guys? Let me brighten it up a little bit. Washington's really beautiful. The Sewing and Stitchery Expo. The sound's a bit low. How's that? Is that a little better? Yeah, it's a long drive from Nashville. It's supposed to be the biggest sewing expo. Oh, that sounds overwhelming. And is it catered to retail? Like anyone can go? It looks great. Okay, Christy. Okay. And you can hear okay? Is that better? There's a delay, just so some of you know. There's a little bit of a delay. So when I say something, it kind of takes a second for you guys to hear what I said. So this is a tip. If you have a sewing machine and you're like lugging it and putting it on like your dining room table and your back and your neck start killing you, if you can find old-fashioned typewriter tables, they are the right height. Because remember, typewriters would sit on them. So this is a typewriter table. It's pretty funky. But I actually have a sewing machine cabinet with so that I can make my machine flush with the table, and I'll bring that to my new studio. Oh, okay, Ida. Good, good, good. It is kind of directional, the microphone. So you were right also that I needed to rotate it a little bit. Okay, so I just wanted to show you. This is what the stitch looks like on my machine. So it is set up for 4 thread, and so there's a seam there as well. You only need 3 thread to do this. You don't need 4. Oh, that's cool, Carol. That sounds really fun. Yeah, I'm going to start learning about all those things. And when you're trying to get the tension right on your serger, you want all of these threads to be right on the edge there. You see that? You want it to all line up on the edge. You don't want these to pull to the front or to the back. And that is where the trickiness lies when you're trying to adjust your serger stitch. So once you get it right, don't mess with it. And mine, one failing of this, I have an Evolve, a Baby Lock Evolve. Amazing machine. I love it. Holds way too many spools of threads I'll never use. But I can't adjust the tension. Like there's literally just a knob on the right hand side and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that moves the loopers on the edge here to the front or the back. It's pretty unsophisticated that way. I really like it when there's tension dials on each thread right at the front. But I'm not a serger expert, and there's far more people out there in the world that know a lot about sergers. And what you want to sew with your serger, take into the store when you go to buy it and try it out. Do not use their little sample fabric, the muslin. It's going to work perfect on that. So you want to do it on what you're going to sew it on. All right, so first I think we sew the top seam here. I have more space here, which is kind of nice. You can't see it. Yeah, the typewriter table, it's like perfect. Perfect height. I have 3 little drawers there. So I notched mine. I know that's my back, so I put 2 notches there. See, it's a little dark. Oh, it's a little better. I'm going to brighten it up for you guys. Just a little bit. Oh my God, I almost clicked on deactivate. Okay, that's a little better. Serger's gonna be a little louder too. Yeah, I always leave mine on 4 as well. I don't really need it to be a seam right now, especially. But I do I mean, it'll be handy on the top edge of the waistband. All right, so right sides together. Line up my notches. This is just making sure. Oh no, that's my back. Wait, why do I keep finding the back? There it is. All right. And so I'm going to start just away from the side seam. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to stagger them rather than open them. All right. So I'm going to serge this. It's this really awkward angle for me. I have 2 foot pedals. I want to use the right one. I tried it out earlier and I was using the home machine by accident, which is on the floor next to me here. I'm going to trim a little bit off. And you'll see, like, I always like, I'm still doing the like inside of the circle like this. You have less risk of serging your garment if you keep it above the machine, rather than if I were doing it from this side and then it was going around like that. I have definitely serged my share of the garment before. Sometimes you just can't feel it under there. You get the hang of it. But you can see when it's above, I know I'm not going to catch it, especially I can see it all, you know? I'm going to get this thread here. I try and go off at an angle, and then when I get to this, I kind of cut it like right there, and then I pull it and lock it like that. If you know a better way, tell me. This is, I feel like that's the clunky thing about sergers. There's no back stitch. All right, so now I'm gonna put my home machine up here. I think I might be able to just move this off to the side. Let's see. This puppy is heavy. Lots of adjusting. Okay. Make sure I didn't catch my thread under my handle. So mine does have a free arm, so I have this extra attachment. I have a Bernina Patchwork Edition 140. The reason I bought this version, I'm not a quilter, and this is obviously for some reason geared towards quilters. I don't remember why, but my machine, I can actually have a knee lift on it, which means I can put a rod right here at the front of my machine, and it looks like, where is it? Oh, maybe it's in my case. It's probably in my case. And then the rod goes from the machine out and then 90 degrees down, and I can use my knee to lift up the presser foot. And so what I did was I bought the bottom most machine that I like, the first one I could get into because it was expensive. And so I spent a lot of money extra on this machine just to be able to have the knee lift because I really like a knee lift. So that is the only reason I have this machine. Obviously not even using the knee lift, and it's because usually this machine is to the right on this table and the drawers are in the way and I hardly use it. So there's really not a reason for me to have the knee lift. I'm sorry you guys have to look at the camera. Oh, I know why you, oh no, I actually moved that. Oh well. Oh, that's smart, Nancy. That is clever. Yeah, that's all. That probably looks so much nicer. It's satisfying and tidy. It sounds like hand sewing. I'm just teasing. Okay, here's my elastic. All right, so I'm gonna put it on my zigzag, and I'm actually gonna. Where's my? Here's my. I'm gonna see what my zigzag looks like. Oopsie, wrong foot. I did buy one of those it's like sits on the rug and it has like little plastic spikes that go into the carpet, and it holds my foot pedal from moving, and it works awesome. That is like one thing I wanted to invent for a really long time, was a way to hold my foot pedal so it didn't scooch across the floor. But I saw this on both my foot. I just turned it sideways and then both my foot pedals fit on it. Okay. Oh my gosh, my foot pedal came unplugged. Let's see. It's got a separate plug. Where is it? Is this it? Oh, this is it. Okay. Sorry, guys. Let's see if that's it. Oh, like a small loop turner? Yeah, right? That's a good idea. You could use a crochet hook. So that would work. You could even do a longer stitch. And when I say longer stitch, this is what happens. So longer means that the points are further apart this way. Narrower means that the points would be more this way, okay? Oh, and I was going to show you, here's my free arm. This little thing comes off. It's not going to come off because you guys are watching me right now, though. It does come off. But this is where some of my bobbins are, and the feet will sit right here, and this is my bobbin case. I don't even shut the little thing because this little door covers it up. There's a blade right there. And then this whole little thing slides off so I can have a free arm. Okay, so let's put this on here. I'm pretty sure I don't need to stretch it very much. You can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the center with chalk, like this. And then I'm going to mark the sides. Now the front and the back waist are almost identical in length. The front has a little bit more. So I'm going to kind of, there's my chalk. So now this is my trick. So that I remember I marked the center there. And now if I line those two up with each other, I have the sides. You used your longest one? Yeah, that's fine. No one's going to see this, so you actually could do whatever you want in here. You wouldn't want to do it too short, because then it has less opportunity to stretch. I'm just going to keep it at the default for mine. I'm going to put this, I think I'm going to put it on the side seam. Now you really want your elastic to be all above this stitching from here up, okay? Because when you turn the waistband to the inside, this is going to sit below the seam like that. So you don't want to straddle the seam because the top of the waistband's right here. You want this to be down into the waistband. And so where's all my chalk? Okay, wait, let's mark my centers on my waistband because they're gone since I just serged them off. Ooh, I'm so close. I'm so excited. Okay. Okay, see okay? I feel like ideally the camera would be coming like over my shoulder, you know? I think I'll put this little overlap like away from the side seam. I'm going to make my stitch length a little bit longer since it's going shorter than when I did my sample on the canvas. So now I'm going to look at my first marking right here and line it up with that other one right there, like that. Doesn't look like it's going to be any problem to do that. You don't technically need to use a ballpoint needle. This isn't knit, but just know that if you need to re-sew this over and over again, you might want a new piece of elastic. You have a leg. What do you mean? The camera angle is great? Okay, good. Yay for a leg. Oh, you're a bit behind me, meaning like where you're at in your pants. You have a leg. Okay. Lining up my chalk. I feel like my presser foot pressure is a little too much. I really don't have much to stretch. Okay, let's see how it's looking for the rest of the pant. No problem. All right. It wants to push it away. I'm trying to get it to stay on there. I think it's because I don't have the right foot on. I have a buttonhole making foot. I didn't even think about changing my foot. Forgot. And in a buttonhole foot, there are channels underneath it for the two ridges of the buttonhole stitch to pass. And so it's probably pushing this out, trying to get it into one of those ridges on the right-hand side. You know what I mean? Now I'll backstitch. All right. Okay, so I kept the elastic on the seam allowance only. So when I turn it to the inside, it hangs below that seam. Did anyone try that trick of top stitching the waistband down in the seam? It's number 3, Bernina foot number 3. Is the one I need on here? Well, I don't think I need it anymore, but oh, here's one. That's what I need, huh? There we go. But using a buttonhole foot helps so much. I really like it. Oh, it did, Melon? Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's like when I sew vinyl, it wants to just get stuck on it, you know? All right, so I don't need the zigzag anymore unless I wanted to use it to attach my waist, but I'm going to use the serger for that. So we're just going to set this on the ground again. It is a really heavy machine. Okay. Give me a little serger. The thread cradle goes right under the camera. Okay. Last stitch. You did? Okay. Oh, really, Nancy? Okay. Christy knows her Bernina feet. I have all kinds of feet. I even got this like, oh, maybe that's to my serger. I got this box of feet. I never even really looked at. I think sergers for a while there, the trend with them was geared towards sewing baby clothes. So a lot of the things that it came with, I just was like, I'm not going to use this. All right, so you want to press your top seam. And what I'm doing is I'm sliding it between my fingers like this and kind of rolling it onto its edge. I'm trying to get the lighting good for you guys. Just a little space. See my messy office behind me. All the stuff I'm sewing. But I'm done production sewing. I should have a party. I don't have any time for a party right now. I need to pack. My husband's back in town now. He got home last night, or yesterday, I mean, during the day. So that's good. Sometimes we see each other for one day in February. That's it. He travels a lot for work, and February is also his show months. One year, we overlapped and we didn't see each other between shows. And we had to have a friend stay with our daughter. Okay. All right, so just wanted to kind of tell it, this is what I want you to do right now. You don't want to top stitch that. All right, I think I'm going to, I'm going to pin this. I'm just going to pin the waistband kind of away from the seam because I really want it to stay even and lined up. So I'm just going to kind of pin it down here. Shouldn't be any problems. Really, I'm just going to do the side seams, I think. So it's nice and flat right there. And I don't twist anything inadvertently, you know, like that. All right, and let's see. I'm gonna do this on, do I wanna do this on the waistband side? See, this is where I didn't stitch a little fabric first before I started top stitching right there. Let's look at my edge here. What else do I gotta deal with? I think I want to serge on the waistband side of things. But I kind of want to be able to see the inside of my pants too so that I get everything kind of going the right direction. And it looks nice. It's going to be pressed up. So maybe I do want it on the pant side so that it's the nice side of serging showing. That's being kind of picky though. Oh, did you end up doing that, Nancy? Does it look nice? That sounds like such a nice touch though. Okay, so I'm going to line up my notches. You're going to line it up with the seam of the center. I don't like using pins with sergers. For most people know the obvious reason is because there is a blade on your serger. The blade's about $35 if you nick it. And you don't really want to have to replace it. It also might take a couple weeks to get one. So I'm going to pin kind of away from the seam there. And on the side that I'm sewing it so that I see it and I remove it as I'm going. Just kind of lining it up around. This looks like I may have some easing back here. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it under the camera. You see that? I have to sit kind of far away. There's not as much space. Pressing my side seam to the back, but that's obvious because I top stitched it. Right? just checking it out, looking around. Okay, so it looks like everything's gonna sew on here pretty nicely. That's okay. I mean, I kind of would like to see the waistband stretching onto the pant, because then I know that it's going to be a little bit of return, you know? Oh, did you post pictures of, oh, did I miss that? Sorry, I have not been on Instagram much lately. Okay. I'm going to start on this nice smooth area of the back yoke. It's a nice place to get my sewing legs under me. I have my waistband pinned all the way around. I'm sewing from the inside of the circle. And I'm going to take out my pins before I get to them. Where's my foot? There we go. I'm going to try and remember to trim a little. This was accidentally serged. I thought that was the bottom of the yoke, and then I stopped because I didn't want to confuse myself when I sewed the pants together. Adds a tiny bit of bulk, huh? Yeah, I guess I could see that. The one on those pants is, it's this really thin. Well, it's like it's what they use for the pocket lining. It's really thin. It also looks like it could be polyester because it's pilling a little bit. I'm going to help pull this through a little bit. When I get to those thicker seams, I kind of help it along a little bit. I only use 4 pins. This is a pretty thick seam right here. I'm going to lift up the presser foot a little bit. See, it's going to get hung up on my knife a little bit. It's a little too thick. See that? I've been having a little bit of trouble with this lately. I'm going to trim that. Definitely probably needs a tune-up, but I did give it a new knife like last year. See, but I don't like that. That's not good. To avoid that, I could pre-trim the edge. There we go. Hopefully I don't unthread anything. You done sewing today, Lisa? I'm kind of making sure like all my little threads on all my seams are kind of going up into it, kind of making it as clean as possible. Okay, I'm gonna grab my maybe these scissors right here. I'm gonna trim this a little bit so I don't have to trim it off with the serger. Like that. All right, getting back to our starting spot already. All right, let's make sure that we didn't miss any edges. I was so concerned with that not getting cut there that I want to make sure that I didn't miss any of my waistband. And I'm going to give it a good tug because you don't want this pulling out of the seam later on. I used to avoid doing stuff like this because I didn't want to know. I think like deep down I'm like, I don't want to know if it's not okay. But you know what? If you go to put these on and then halfway through the day your seam, like this layer right here, didn't get caught, you'd be kind of bummed. It's nice. You're all set up right now. Just deal with it right now. I only knifed a little bit off, Christy, yeah. Yeah, but it is a 1/2 inch seam allowance. My serger width is 3/8. It's like a little shallow of a 3/8. And then I trimmed a little bit over an 1/8. So I didn't need to take, isn't it 1/2 inch? Is it 5/8? You know me and those 1/2 inch, 5/8, 1/2 inch, 5/8 thing. All right, you guys, look. Yay. They're really cute. No torquing. That's another thing you need to worry about. You don't want any torquing. Now you could stitch your waistband pieces along the cut edge together first. This has 1/2 inch. Okay, good. But I find that might stretch out my waistband a little bit. So when I go to sew it to the pants, then it may be a little harder for it all to line up. So that's why I didn't do that. They turned out really cute. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm not sure about this yet, but oh, hey, Brooke, thanks. And kind of foxy looking. Yes, well, I'm going to be wearing them next week at the show. Maybe I'll have Brooke take a picture for me. And my Valentine's outfit. I'm going to get some Valentine's candy as an excuse today. See the waistband, you know, pulling a little right there. It's a little bit of elastic. I might wash these so that they kind of become mine, like Ellen Mason says. Thanks, Christy. Yay! Now I want a shirt with this fox print. That would be a little matchy-matchy. Well, cool, you guys. This was really fun. Okay, so when I am back, like streaming, let's talk about another sew along. Because maybe we need something for warmer months, you know? That'll be fun. But in the meantime, be patient with me, you guys. When I get back, I'm going to be back in like 2 weeks. And then I'm going to move. But I'll try and stream before we move. And then there may be another break. And then we'll be back at it. And maybe even better than before, I hope. So this is really awesome. I'm winding down Chicken Boots. I'm closing it up and turning all my efforts towards this because this is just really interesting to me. And I'm just going to do this, you know. Yes, I do remember Garanimals. There's Garanimals. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about those because they just filed Chapter 11 again, I think. So, yeah. But I was just talking to someone at the chiropractor office about those. He said, yeah, that's how I need to dress. He's like, wears one color. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for the hanging out with the funky setup. But it was kind of fun to be able to use my other machines finally with you guys. Me too, Lisa. I have a lot of patterns to make. I have a lot of stash fabric. Some of them I really need to get to before it gets warm. I know. I'm going to miss it too, you guys. Okay, good, Eliza. I'm glad. Yeah, so start thinking about, I'll probably maybe even do a survey with, and make it kind of open-ended so you can kind of write in what you're wanting to see and stuff. But I really can't like devote my time and attention to it right now. And it's really frustrating because this is really what I want to do. I really want to move, you know. I'm really excited and just wind everything down and focus on this. So I'm going to wait until I can focus on things before I ask too many questions. I don't want to forget anything. So we talk a lot about a lot of things here, and then I feel like I'm forgetting them and I don't want to. So, oh, I'm so glad, Carol. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, my pleasure. I love it. This has been exactly what I wanted to do, and it's really satisfying. So hopefully we'll really get going when I come back end of March. Maybe we'll be back full time again. Maybe as late as April. I don't know. So maybe I'll do some like little quick stream somehow. So, but you know, tag me on Instagram. I want to see what you guys are making. I'm going to try and keep up with you guys. I don't care about bad spelling. I've had that name all my life, Nancy. It's no big deal. And I tell people all the time, it's like Jeremy, but with an S. And so then they spell it like that. So it's, why wouldn't they, you know? Like, that's what they think it is. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. And thanks also, so many of you bought the Audacier pattern. That's really exciting. So I'm going to make a cropped version. I'm going to make a few more. I would really like to do that right now. But I really need an iPad case too. So, and I need to pack my car. Like, everything's out. I'm going to pack my car. And then maybe I'll have time to do something for me. Yay! All right, guys. So take care and have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'll try and post some pictures and keep up with you guys. So, and we'll be back. I'll see you probably early March. So, take care. Bye, guys.